What's a song, with no lyrics, that makes you very emotional or brings you to tears? I'm sorry, but there's absolutely no way for me to recommend just one, so I'm just going to give you a little list. Suspension, Another Place, Two Rivers, Where Were You All by Jeff Beck. Rabina, Made of Tears Joe Satriani. Maroon Pink Floyd. Brissos in D-flat major, Opus 57 middle. Maurizio Pollini Chopin. Different artists have different interpretations though, but I prefer this version. Hyperborea Tangerine Dream, not the remastered version. The Great Migration, James Horner from The Land Before Time, also the entire Dances with Wolves soundtrack. Beautiful movie, worth the watch. The Queen of All Everything by ODT. Not my kind of music typically, but this particular song is one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. There is a sound that almost sounds like a voice throughout that is like the essence of pure emotional release. It feels like a cry out of love and gratitude from the created back to the love that created it. The footage of the planet Earth doc accompanying the music just sends it over for me. If you are susceptible to feelings of awe, be ready to cry. https YouTube by6 oblique 7m0s cr2 rukeln pkift. Hans Zimmer. Now we are free. There are words, but there are versions without lyrics. You can listen to them, too. But I prefer the version with Lisa Gerrard. Call Me the Punisher, Carlos Iliado. The Punisher score. A New Family, Jones Suffering, Carlos Iliado. The Punisher score. About Your Family, Setting a Trap, Carlos Iliado. The Punisher score. Ludovico Einaudi Experience. Ludovico Einaudi Una Mattina. These songs will bring me to tears, but when I feel some type of way I would listen to them. Beautiful songs. John Island Legend. Aaron Copland Appalachian Spring. Modest Mussorgsky Night on Bear Mountain. And two very special ones with lyrics. Claudia Calling Occupants of Interplanetary Craft. Jim Henson as Kermit Rainbow Connection. Those last two are my husband's favorite songs, and I lost him to cancer when we were 38 years old. We have been a couple since meeting in 2nd grade, so I still got 30 years with him, but I'll get emotional if I hear them. For Absent Friends by Opeth, or Friend of the Night by Mogwai. Both invoke some major milestones in my life. They not only came out during major transformation in my life, but they remind me of friends and family, pets and places, even feelings, that are now long gone, passed on, or taken away too soon. I can't help but just sit there and listen to the whole song, sometimes motionless, since my mind and imagination are sent running wild. There's a classic Sesame Street skit showing a man making a toy airplane. The music is by Joe Raposo and so nostalgic for me. A different arrangement is used in Ernie Bert skit where Bert likes to go ice skating. Another classic Joe Raposo song is Ernie Bert singing Imagination. The end instrumental is so pure and precious, I tear up every time. And yes, I watch classic Sesame Street a lot. From Night in the Woods, titled Sanctuary. Song plays when the main character is in their home. Without going into too much detail, lost my mom at 13 and my whole world was changed in less than a week. Had to move out of my house and was separated from my siblings. That song takes me back to being with my mom, and in the home I was growing up in. The song just so warm. Amazing Game 2, Through the Arbor, by pianist Kevin Kern. I used to be heavily involved in dance, and this was the music our instructor used for bar warm-ups. Brings me to a happier, more carefree time as a kid in ballet. I eventually bought the CD and The Enchanted Garden and would listen to it going to sleep. Always With Me, Always With You by Joe Satriani. I had the pleasure of seeing Satch live almost exactly a year ago. Very first note of the opening rhythm and the whole theater was completely enthralled. When that main riff came in, though the part around 25 seconds in that video, I got chills. Beethoven's Symphony No. 7 Opus 92-2, Allegretto. Philip Glass Mishima Closing. David Guetta theme from Ghost World X200B. Edit added links. Ashitaka and Sanjo Hisaishi. It is a rebirth of the earth, the beauty of nature. One of the most powerful moments in my life is when I hiked the Olympics and listened to it at one of the lakes at a peak, while the breeze from the view in front of me hit me. Untouched by man. The most beautiful thing. Beethoven's Ninth is the only piece of music that never fails to make me cry when I listen to it live. There's something about that sudden silence before the theme of joy comes in the first time, so quiet and deep, played by the cellos and double bass. From that point onwards, I just cry non-stop. Symphony 3 Eroica. The music itself is moving enough, but the whole story of how it was written for Napoleon of the Third Council, Beethoven flying into a rage at him coronating himself emperor, and how it played at his funeral is like a Greek play come to life. Wayne, by John Frusciante. I know I'm late to this post, but if you haven't listened to it before, please do. You can listen free on YouTube. It's pure human emotion translated to an instrument. Incredible. Read John's letter about it, too, if you get the chance. Lisa Gerard has said that her song Veillon with Dead Can Dance contains no lyrics, but rather a series of vocal patterns. And they certainly are effective coupled with the music in bringing an intent listener to a humbled state deep within pomp and circumstance. I cry when it played at my own graduation. I cry when it was played at my oldest daughter's graduation, and I will undoubtedly cry when I hear it at my youngest daughter's graduation in May. So many, but here's one that comes to mind. Debussy was an absolute genius and was born to compose on the piano. A few months ago I saw Beethoven's Ninth Symphony performed live with a choir and everything. It was so beautifully done that all of us were crying at the end. I don't know why, the beauty of it all just moved me. For me, I have two, both by John Williams. 1. Finale, The Empire Strikes Back. 2. The Olympic Spirit. Can't make it though either. I get so bad, I don't even listen to it while driving. Happy tears every time. Happiness by Jonesy. It makes me feel like I'm dying and my life is flashing before my eyes. Not a single thing has made me fall apart and sob like that. I avoid that song like the plague. It's beautiful. Princess Leia's theme, Star Wars soundtrack, John Williams, A London Symphony Orchestra, 1977. I've always loved this piece, but after Carrie Fisher's passing it just has me in the feels every time. Pretty much anything Max Richter did for The Leftovers. Especially the departure and the quality of Mercy. I also always get pretty emotional to Lemongrass MF Doom off his Special Herbs beat tape. To Zanark in Distant Worlds version. Orchestrated version of the famous Final Fantasy X sound piece. I cried for the entire song, when I heard it the first time. And still shed a tear today. El Chombo Chacaron. There's something inherently deep about this music. Like he's trying to tell us something deep and meaningful and we just can't decipher what he's saying. Masterpiece. The Wrath of Khan soundtrack is criminally underappreciated. Sabine's Catharsis by Kevin Kiner from Star Wars Rebels. Some of the most emotional music in Star Wars. Really underrated too. Go watch Trials of the Darksaber and see for yourself. Halcyon and On by Orbital. Reminds me of my childhood in the 90s, and how much I loved the Mortal Kombat movie and mid-90s techno. Robert Miles' Children gets runner-up. Reflection Eternal Nujabes. Not really without lyrics, it has a few, but I just wanted to put this here, and if you like this type of music, Nujabes is a rabbit hole. You're welcome. You didn't know you needed this song, until you hear it. Dear people, you're in for a ride. I present to you Kite Man Sorry. Super specific, but for me that is Lily Peachu's piano cover of the League of Legends theme. Here is Link. Miserere by Gregorio Allegri. Throw on the best headphones you have, free yourself from distractions, and feel the music. Albinoni Adagio in G minor. 'Tis a 10-minute long regal-ass funeral song. I used to listen to it on repeat to fall asleep, unpicking all the different layers in the song. Paco Bell Canon and Diag, in M Family it's a funereal song. Also Time to Say Goodbye instrumental which only makes me tear up for a few bars before I puts me F to sleep. Sunset Bridge from Persona 5 super emotional when it's the protagonist's last day in Tokyo. Also Swear to My Bones from Persona 5 as well. Show up in any emotional scene. Portals by Alan Silvestri, Avengers Endgame. Battle by Steve Jablonsky, Transformers Dark of the Moon. I'm not sure why this one makes cry, but it does. Edit typo. Santa Cantina Javra. There's some kids if you listen closely, but I'm usually zoned out in imagining being on a beach, content with life, evening approaching. On the Nature of Daylight by Max Richter. That swelling, emotional music in the movie Arrival and in the heartrending episode in The Last of Us. God damn it. Hole in My Pocket by Mac Miller. It's his short interlude on his Blue Slide Park album, and it reminds me of my childhood. It gives me morning playground vibes. The instrumental version of Beneath the Mask Rain version. Just sit down late at night, listen to this song and let your mind bring out all sad memories. The song does have lyrics, but specifically the guitar solo and Flood's Pantera. It's harrowing and an amazing example of someone speaking through music. Technically it has lyrics, but they were seldom sang, and the song is known for the instrumental theme to MASH's Painless. Boxello's Sweet Number 1. And David Gray January Rain. The entire album The Earth Is Not a Cold Dead Place by Explosions in the Sky. Listen to it here. Technically doesn't have lyrics but there's singing. The Great Gig in the Sky, by Pink Floyd. It makes my heart ache when I let that song hit me. Gabriel's Oboe are several of the songs from the Mission movie. Composed by Ennio Morricone. Music from Interstellar. Composed by Hans Zimmer. Soothsayer or Nottingham Lace by Buckethead. Both have really long intros, and take a while to get going, but once they do, they are breathtaking. Another great one is Sesame Street's Geometry of Circles. Philip Glass added the music for that. Anyone finding a trend in my post? Yes? Smiley face. The song Married Life from Up soundtrack. You know what's happening in the song and follow their life through the song until the sad end. Death Voice of the Soul. Love the journey this song takes me on. R.I.P. Chuck Schuldiner. Dream of the Shore Near Another World or any song from the Chrono Cross OST. Would have picked Radical Dreamers but it has lyrics so also Return to the Present from Somewhere in Time. The entire soundtrack is beautiful but this scene kills me with this instrumental, sad face. That's the way I like it from Sonic Adventure 2. The game isn't even from my time, but I somehow still feel nostalgic and emotional. Any of those classic rock cover lullabies for babies. But only because they make me sleepy, and my eyes tear up when I yawn. Might be basic, but Jean Napindi #1. My mom loves it too and we were both pretty happy when my brother covered it on the piano. As We Bloom by Flower Guy. It gives me a very hopeful but longing sense of something. I don't know, but it feels powerfully to me. Out Getting Ribs Feeling Blue song here.